Hi guys, I'm Marc Marquez. Make sure like and subscribe for more.
Everything is ready for the start of the race. Marc Marquez is the big favourite from pole position.
22 Rebel Grand Prix Spain underway. Who will reign in Spain? Banyak gets the great launch up the line for pole position. Likewise, Fabio Quartararo, they're going to top it out on the brakes in the first corner. It will be Banyak that stands firm. Quartararo trying to get the drive out of the first corner, attacking Banyak into turn 2. There's no way through. Nakagami's had a fantastic start. The Japanese man, 7th to 4th place.
Poor start for Aleix Espargaro. He's dropped down to 6th. There's already some debris flying on. Maybe one of the winglets has been picked up by one of the riders further back. But the top 2 have gone away. Jack Miller up into 3rd place ahead of Nakagami and Marc Marquez, with Aleix Espargaro down in 6th.
Banyak and Quartararo already starting to try and make some progress towards Marquez, speedway, sideways start, he picks up pole attacking Nakagami. Marquez takes 4th. Was that
someone down on the top of the screen?
Further back. Nakagami out wide, and that meant Aleix Espargaro was able to sweep up through as well. It's Stefan Bradl.
Martin's down as well.
Yeah, Jorge Martin. Well, that could potentially be a 4th DNF in 6 races for the luckless Jorge Martin. Has not been the start for 2022 we expected for the Pramac Ducati man. All kinds of rumours that he's already got a deal to replace Jack Miller in the factory Ducati team next year. With a terrible start to his home Grand Prix for Martin.
I was about to ask how have they gone down together. They've had separate accidents, so Martin now losing the front, and you're going to see Stefan Bradl perhaps just joining into view down at the gravel trap at turn 13. So a disastrous start once again for Martin, but the top 2 have got the start they wanted. Joan Mir now picking off Taka Nakagami, Mir up into the top 6. The KTMs have had a decent start to the Grand Prix. Miguel Oliveira from 21st on the grid up to 13th. Brad Binder also making progress. He started 15th on the grid. He's now up into the top 10. He's just behind Johan Zarco and ahead of Enea Bastianini.
First time in this Grand Prix that Jack Miller slipped a second behind Fabio Quartararo. So as we suspected, as we thought would happen, Pecco Bagnaia and Fabio Quartararo had the best race pace, the superior race pace all weekend over the rest of the field, and they are now starting to make a decisive early break here around this red circuit where there's so much hard braking, so much abuse on that front tyre through the high-speed, fast corners. If you're in that mid-pack, you can be in big bother. I wonder whether that might be an issue for Alex Rins. Pecco Bagnaia has just reeled off another fast enough. I think that's the best ever race lap here in Jerez, a 1:37.669. This is a replay of the race start. Oh, look at that. Elbow to elbow, wasn't it, between Aleix Espargaro and Marc Marquez? In fact, they rubbed shoulders. No quarter given between the 2 Spaniards up into turn 1. They've exchanged a fair few frank words here this weekend. Aleix Espargaro on Friday, very angry that Marc Marquez was following him for a tow. That's as close as it's going to get. Out of your picture here on the right-hand side is Aleix Espargaro. They're rubbing shoulders pretty much all the way up to the first corner. Aleix launches it up the inside, fires that Aprilia on the inside of Marc Marquez. Marquez, though, cut it back and was able to take that 4th place back. Darren Binder, unfortunately, on the With You Yamaha has gone down. That's such a common crash here in Jerez. Trail braking down the hill, tricky entry into the Michelin corner, and the South African crashed out. That's a shame because he was going really well, actually. Binder was in 17th place out of the likes of Marini, Vinales and Remy Gardner. That's a shame because he was going exceptionally strong.
This is the head-to-head we've been waiting for, isn't it, between Pecco Bagnaia and Fabio Quartararo. Of course, they were a class apart last year as Bagnaia chased Quartararo valiantly for the World Championship. Quartararo looks ever so slightly wide there, coming around turn 12 as we cut back to the battle for third. Marquez looks ever closer now to the back of Jack Miller, and Aleix Espargaro well and truly in touch too. Miller looks like he's got a bit of a queue behind him now.
Yeah, some of the home heroes are starting to gang up on Miller, aren't they? Marquez, the yellow flag out in sector 4. Just trying to work out who's tumbling down the timing tower, but sector 4 has brought out the yellow flags. We'll try and find out who that is. It's clearly not Miller, Marquez,
Rins,
or Aleix Espargaro.
Rins is dropping down.
It looks like it could be Alex Rins. Well, he had such a sensational start to 2022.
There is
Alex Rins. Has he just run off?
So he's crossed the line in 22nd place. Alex Rins, a 1:53.5. He's lost a full 14 seconds, so he's either run off the track or he's gone down altogether. Here he is.
Oh, he's off. That was a big moment on the front end then for Alex Rins into turn 12. That's where he had a big crash at the start of 2020. in a qualifying session, which really hampered his championship charge early on in 2020. That's the first mistake we've seen in this first 6 Grand Prix of the season.
Zarco's down too,
Alex
man. We've got
Rins.
yellow flags down in sector 2, and John Zarco's dropping down our time screens. Confirmation on our time screen. Zarco's down too.
It's been a horrible day then for Pramac Ducati. Johan Zarco, that's a second DNF of the season for him. Of course, he DNF'd in Argentina, so he's going to surrender crucial World Championship points. He was trying to find a way through on Marco Bezzecchi. Oh, that was nasty. A right big slap down on that right wrist and right arm for Johan Zarco. Thankfully, he's okay, of course, with his crucial home Grand Prix in Le Mans coming up in 2 weeks' time. Back at the front, and it's been brilliant Bagnaia at the moment that's keeping Fabio Quartararo at arm's length. Thought there Marquez is going to fire that grab slot up the inside of Miller into the final corner. There's no way through. Go free is the famous hashtag for Pecco Bagnaia. He's certainly riding free at the moment. Yeah, now but at the moment, Miller, you've got to say, he's doing a fantastic job here of keeping Marquez, Aleix Espargaro and Joan Mir behind him. Stefan Bradl's had a second crash in this Grand Prix. It's not been the way he wanted to celebrate his landmark 200th Grand Prix start, unfortunately. A crash at turn 13, and then a second crash at turn 1. Here comes Marquez again. You can just see there he's able to just close up a few metres on Jack Miller through those fast rights. But again, Miller's going to be too strong on the front end on that Ducati into turn 13. And Marquez just went in a little bit hot there, didn't he? The Repsol man got sucked in a little bit. Just got to bide his time, keep patient, because Aleix Espargaro is still very much interested and very much a competitor for that last podium place. They all bunch up again in that first corner. You just see there, dropping down to turn 2, Fabio Quartararo. He's 4.6 seconds of Frenchman ahead of Miller in third.
Marc Marquez couldn't be following Jack Miller much more closely, could he? He's looked close this time, but you can see that Ducati pulling out on the back straight, and Marquez nowhere near close enough once he arrives on the brakes.
Well, the good thing here for Marquez is he's been so long behind Jack Miller now. He knows exactly the strengths and weaknesses of the Aussie and that Ducati package ahead of him. He's just got to pick the right moment here, Marquez, to find a way through. Top job being done here by Miller as he tries to hang on to the podium to make up for the disappointment, the crushing disappointment of 7 days ago in Portimao, when he was really starting to charge potentially towards second place when he clattered into poor old Joan Mir down there into the first corner in Portugal, trying to make amends here, and he has done so far, Miller. A little top job being done by this man. Great to see the Mini VR46 Ducati rookie Marco Bezzecchi. There he is, directly ahead of former world champion leader Enea Bastianini. Bezzecchi's in 8th place. He's got 1.7 seconds to regroup and recover to Taka Nakagami ahead of him. That's going to be a big challenge because Nakagami and Bezzecchi are running pretty much identical pace coming up. Well, we're just over the halfway point of the Spanish Grand Prix. He's in a Miller, Aleix Espargaro sandwich right now, Marc Marquez. That these three have sort of held their positions for a good number of laps now, haven't they? Aleix Espargaro's not been able to find a way to attack Marquez ahead of him. And likewise, Marquez has not been able to attack Miller in front of him. They've had a close look and not been close enough to get inside of the men directly ahead of him. Bagnaia and Quartararo, again, nothing between them. A slightly quicker man on that lap 16 was the Italian, a 1:38.203.
Well, this race is already exceeding Marc Marquez's expectations, isn't it? He said yesterday 5th to 10th was round about where he expected to be. He's still running in a very competitive 4th at the moment, up behind Jack Miller. They've got a comfortable advantage now back to Joan Mir in 6th position. Mir 1.8 seconds further back and making no real inroads in the trio up ahead of him. And Taka Nakagami just 0.6 of a second now behind the 2020 world champion.
Is there an attack coming finally from Aleix Espargaro potentially into the turn 6 Fanny Pedrosa corner? On board with Marc Marquez. I was expecting to see a black and red Aprilia come up the inside of the Repsol Honda man there. It didn't come because we're on board now with Aleix Espargaro. There is Miller and Marquez ahead of him as they come now through the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner. Turn number 8, Miller running that slightly wider line on the factory Ducati to set himself up for now the Angel Nieto corner. The Spanish fans will be loving this. 2 Spanish riders fighting for the podium in the Spanish Grand Prix. Jack Miller, though, still resolute and standing firm in 3rd place as he looks for a podium here in Jerez for the 2nd year in a row. The race winner here, of course, last year. He won't be repeating that. The factory Ducati team might be celebrating another win here in Jerez with Pecco Bagnaia still 6 or 7 tenths clear of Fabio Quartararo. Is the attack finally coming from the number 93 on 43? No, again, how good is Jack Miller on that front 10 into turn 13? Again, Marc Marquez just was in that little bit hot, we're in that wider line to pick the bike up quickly as Simon.
The riders are enjoying their lap of